Whew, alright, I'm sorry I'm late. I stole this bag from an old lady, she wouldn't stop following me. Anyway, now that we are all here, sit down, I have a tale to tell. Oh, and believe me, Exile, it's one of those tales. Full of greed, hope, and disappointment. The tale of the cemetery affliction. Watch out now, I'm gonna throw some gunpowder in the fire. Whoosh! Title card. Are you afraid of the dark? What a weird-ass show this used to be, oh my god. Day 1. At large, nothing really major happened. I tried to do some experimenting along the way in the many days I spent doing this project. There were a few things that I wanted to test. How powerful would the Wildwood Wisps affect a very simple Alk and Go playstyle? Aside from like a couple of scarabs, maybe spend a Delirium Orb on a map, I didn't really go all out. Alright, we're gonna turn off the loot, and we're looking for swings. Anything that is not a swing probably is not worth my time. Juicing maps in Path of Exile, in theory, the more you spend, the more you make it back. More on that later. I just got a good old trusty build I threw together with one of the new gems, and that was going to be my good old faithful for the remainder of this farming session. Okay, before we go any further, let me tell you how this all started. I was browsing YouTube, sometimes something or other about Path of Exile would appear. I do consume Path of Exile content from other creators. Occasionally click to enjoy the ASMR that is watching a Imperium Magic Finder group, extreme juicy loot map that just like swings everywhere just for the heck of it. Oh! Hey. And then I came across a few videos from different creators all talking about how did I farmed Mage Blood with Legion in 2 days, how I farmed a Headhunter playing Cemetery Tier 7 early in the league, and then another creator talking about, oh, why you should do some low strat farming on Cemetery Tier 7. I was like, you know what? I can do that shit. And literally the whole thought process in my head went a little bit like this. You look like a healthy young map. What tier might you be?
Tier 7.
Tier 7, is it? Yes. Did you see that? Super easy. I can juice this little bitch. Now look at that. You see this? This is all you need in order to properly juice your map.
Wow.
How do you even do it? How do you get all of this juicy goodness into your maps? It's impossible.
So, that is when the map device comes in.
JJ. Oh my god, he jumped out the window! Saute! Oh, he jumped!
I'm fairly certain that's exactly what I thought. Memory's a little bit hazy by now. Now you see, juicing your maps has a particular tax you have to pay, and that tax is paid in frames per second. I work with a very, 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 very old machine, so every single time I'm forced to play with just about 6 FPS, a ground effect or something explodes, and then I die, and then I lose the map, and it's a potential hazard. Now, what can be done about it? That's quite simple. You like and subscribe to the channel, so maybe in the future I get to afford a better computer. Wink, wink. And on to day 2. In fact, I'm looking at my notes right now, and day 2, day 3, and quite frankly, day 4. They weren't very eventful. I was still, of course, experimenting with like the Atlas tree and more scarabs, less scarabs, more this, less of that, to see exactly how would those things affect my drop rates. But one thing became very clear. It felt like Path of Exile was literally giving me a 1 divine allowance every single day. Because every single day I was just randomly dropping 1 divine. Maybe during maps, maybe doing anything else that was unrelated to this experiment. Even on the day that I spent 2 divines in goods, let's say Orbs of Delirium and extra Scarabs, and going to the Wildwood, gathering wisps, I even found a shrine that gave me 100% rarity and 50% quant. And it was still kinda meh. It was a good experiment, but not very good results. Now the catch is, on day 4, I was getting a little bit tired of only just doing the farming, so I stopped the farming of Cemetery Tier 7 and decided to do a couple of Temple of Atzoatl that I had left in a stash, and I dropped 2 divines and a Valdo's puzzle box while doing those. And that felt good and terrible all at the same time, because I was spending money to juice up maps, and then everything valuable of the day was dropped while not doing that. Which brings us to the final day. Day 5. At the beginning of the day, I had to go purchase some things from your average Path of Exile degenerate. And that was gonna be it. The final juice. If it was 3 divines worth of goods that I would have to spend to get any sort of profit, I would. So the last 10 maps were all with a layer of Delirium and always with the exact same scarabs. Legion, Abyss, Diviners, and Forced in Beyond. And of course, always trying to maximize how many wisps I was getting in the Wildwoods, and by the end of the day, only 2 maps to go. I was feeling a little bit defeated. You see, the only reason to actually farm Cemetery Tier 7 or Cemetery map in general, there's a chance, albeit small, of dropping a divination card called Brother's Gift that give you a whopping 5 divines. And by spending so many divination scarabs and adding so many extra mobs with sextants and everything else, I was feeling a little bit concerned with the whole strategy of farming that map. Until, of course, Swing. First swing of the day. Let's go. Please be a good swing. What is that?
Oh! Yeah! Fuck yeah! Give us another one! Ah!
Oh my god. Yes, I got another one. I can't believe it. At the cusp of ending everything, right here, just being done with the project, we get another one. I mean, it only took me 48 maps for that to happen, but here we are. And I got 2 right away, plus everything else. Okay, I know, you want to know the details. Okay, here they are. There's actually a little, like, Excel spreadsheet I made. I'm not gonna show you that because it looks ugly and I'm embarrassed by it. So I'm just going to write the data here on screen for you. Okay, long story short, I am considering everything that I dropped from splinters, scarabs, and everything else as sold, as if I gathered everything and then made Chaos Orbs with it. So, in raw divine drops, I had 6 in 5 days. 2 Brother's Gift, so that's 10 divines each, about 1,296 Chaos Orbs worth of Scarabs, 206 Chaos Orbs worth of Simulacrum Splinters, 37 Chaos Orbs worth of Ichors, either blue or red, 2 Exalted Orbs, 1 Veiled Chaos Orb, 129 Chaos Orbs worth of Legion Splinters, 296 Chaos Orbs worth of Essences, and 1 Reliquary Key that I already spent, so that is minus 186, because I just dropped some garbage. 934 extra Chaos Orbs, either from Chaos Orbs falling on the floor, or other little knickknacks that I didn't that I didn't feel like accounting for because they were very few and far between. Have in mind, I spent just about 5 divines to juice up those maps. And I made a grand total of roughly 30 divines. Honestly, sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I spent just roughly 5 divines to run those maps, and I made back 30. So, pretty good. Of course, that is with the 2 Lucky Brothers gift accounted into it. If we remove that particular divination, then it would be 20 divines. So I don't know if I'm just unlucky or anything else, but this is way, way, way short of a headhunter. Now, what is my personal takeaway from this? This game has many mechanics, and you can make money out of pretty much any of them. However, if you are adamant about doing mapping like over and over and over and over, literally to try and find random goods, divination cards and all of that stuff, I recommend you have a build with enough damage, such that you don't take too long every map to complete, the whole content, and make a magic finder build. That is the best case use scenario for a hyper juiced up map. Otherwise, do boss rushes and for Maven kills, do tier 16 maps so you can drop Cortex synthesis maps and Conqueror maps and stuff like that. I don't know, go farm Syndicate, go farm Alva, go do other things that aren't related to just juicing up maps. Sell the Scarabs, sell the Orbs of Delirium, because other people with a Magic Finder build will make a better use out of those resources anyways. So, yeah. Long story short, if you want to do a lot of mapping, do a Magic Finder build. You literally cannot lose if you do. And if you don't feel like mapping, there are plenty and plenty and plenty of other mechanics that you can do and get loads of profit out of. If I had to take one moral out of this story, that would be that the real treasure was the friends you made along the way.
That's him, officer. The guy that stole my purse.
Come on, there's gotta be something good in here. Haha, jackpot. Yoink. Oh, you still here? Well, I mean, the video's over. That's all I had to say. That's all I had to discuss about my little experiment. But since you're here, you could still consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Being a very small content creator, it's a little bit hard to get the video out there and get any meaningful results. So, just help me feed the YouTube algorithm a little bit. Oh, also, Discord server. I finally decided to make one. It's still a work in progress, so you might end up seeing rooms appearing and disappearing, and of course it's going to be something very small, just initially I suppose a place for memes and chit chatter, stuff like that. Channel membership. I have a join button. If you feel so inclined to help the channel even further, you get a channel badge, emotes, and all of that jazz. Anyway, tell me in the comments down below, what has been your experience in the Affliction League? What has been your experience with the Affliction League? Has it been treating you well? How many divines have you dropped, Exile? That's my question for you. Because to me, it's been okay. It is juicier, but it's I'm dropping 100. I'm dropping 100 unique items every map, and they're all garbage. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.